Cloud. Hey, y'all, what's up, man? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. And I'm in a really good mood. That's four reallys for four wins in a row as a United fan, and we beat a legit team this weekend. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into what's wrong with Arsenal. Should the panic button be pressed? There's been so many games between Champions League and Premier League. I forgot how Southampton actually did this weekend. I think he lost 1-0 to Wolves. Is that it? Yeah, that's what I thought. Sorry to hear about that, Lee. We got our usual guest, Lee Hudson from England, Southampton fan, wearing his shirt proudly. And we got the lucky Neil Chakravarti, and we'll discuss that luck and the 3 points that Chelsea got this week. You got the 3 points, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So stand-up comic from India, living in San Diego, Chelsea fan. And we'll also talk about what happened in Champions League this Tuesday. And
we don't need to do
that. Yeah, especially when you don't want to. That's when we should. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We'll talk about Aubameyang not taking the shot, not pulling the trigger when he should have, and and it's just so funny, the Arsenal fan TV people talking about how they dominated United during that game. We dominated, but 3-1. That's when somebody sees that score 10 years from now, it won't look like you dominated. So there's a bunch of things to talk about. Whatever platform you're listening on, like and subscribe, and on YouTube, like, subscribe, and leave comments, and you can ask questions, and we'll respond eventually. So what's up, y'all? How was your weekend? Labor Day weekend, everybody. Hope everybody had a good Labor Day weekend. Mine was pretty decent. How was yours?
I didn't have one.
You didn't have one.
We had a bank holiday last weekend though, so I got my 3-day weekend last weekend.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't get shit yesterday.
Yeah, that's why we pushed this to today. But we should have really did it yesterday. But it was just tough. Yeah. Like, you had to go out and do something. You know, can't expect people to come in and But I guess the first thing is, should we just talk about the United game? Get that out the way.
Yep.
Yeah, probably the biggest game of the weekend. So
yeah, it's probably the biggest game of the weekend, and so Arsenal comes to Old Trafford with 5 wins in a row, was it? And and they needed to beat United to kind of legitimize themselves. And I don't take 5 wins in a row for granted at any point. Like, I would love to have 5 wins in a row. I wouldn't even care who it's against. It's just like if this is the most difficult or the toughest league in the world, that means each individual part of it adds to that difficulty. So there are people who are saying that Arsenal didn't face anyone, but how could you say that when they're in the toughest league in the world? So, I get that some teams aren't going to be as strong as other teams, and I guess that we have a really strong top 6, but there's some of those teams they beat will cause other teams problems, for sure, 100%. Like, I think Arsenal beat Villa, and Villa just tied with Man City this weekend. So you just can't take any win for granted. And so we beat them, and us beating them kind of legitimizes us, but them losing to us does not delegitimize them, because if it does, then who are they? You know what I mean? They're at the top of the league. They won 5 games. So I would like to think that we beat a legit team. And as far as the game is concerned, it was surprising to see Anthony start. And he showed some of the stuff that I've seen on his highlight reel, which is kind of like a video game highlight reel, like, in the game. And so it's good to see that he was comfortable enough to try some things. You know what I mean? On his first time at Old Trafford in front of that crowd. And we normally win when you unveil somebody. So we might have trouble winning now that the transfer window's closed. I think we should get somebody off for free next week, even if it's just a gardener. hey, we got a new gardener, y'all. He's a guy. He waters the place. We need to unveil somebody every week. But I just feel like United like did me proud. The class of ball that we played was high level. The class of ball that Arsenal played was high level. It was an enjoyable, fantastic match to watch. It was really enjoyable to win it. It was good to see that the intestinal fortitude that we established in the Liverpool game, it's carried through to this game. And it's just good to see Marcus Rashford, who people feel is not having a good season so far, like 2 goals and an assist. And it's still tough to make him player of the game because there were so many other outstanding players. And that's where you want to be. You want to have an argument about who's the player of the match. It could have been Eriksen. It could have been McTominay. Yes, I said McTominay. It could have been McTominay. It could have been Martinez. It could have been it could have been Delot, just really good defensively. Could have been maybe not Varane because one of his mistakes kind of caused us a goal, but we had multiple choices, and that's what you want, And for the people who said that Man United was only good on the counter and that we played defensive counter-attacking football, listen, if you're attacking us and you don't score on us, that means our defense is on point and our team is working as a unit, and that's what we want. And that's all a part of football. It cannot be ignored. Like, possession does not give you points unless you score. Goals give you points, and that's what we did. And scoring is one of the hardest things in the game. And if you score most of the time, you win. And I'm glad to see Ten Hag kind of handling so far this Ronaldo issue. It's easy for him to not start when we're winning. Even though I still think the type of person he is, it may cause some trouble later on. But I mean, everybody saw the game. I'm not going to give like a deep breakdown. We countered. We held them defensively. Yes, they were good, but we were better when it counted, and we won the game. What do you guys think?
I think, just like it showed all the qualities that you've been lacking previously, not like in the last few weeks, but in the last months and last season kind of thing. Because Arsenal came and you didn't sort of roll them over without them trying. They gave you a game, and previously you could have crumbled under that. But like you say, the players had a different mentality, a different attitude about them this time. They wanted to fight for everything. They wanted to scrap and make sure they defended properly so that you could then do what you did with the ball when you did have it, which was just supremely clinical. Like we spoke on the chat about that ball from Eriksen on the first goal into Bruno, where he just split the lines right through the middle of the pitch. Like, having players that can do that is such a big thing. The ball on the first Rashford goal as well in behind. Well, every ball for every goal there was a great pass involved in every goal. Rashford's looking back like the player he was when he got in the England team as a teenager kind of thing. He's playing with that happiness and that freedom again now, it seems. Like he looks like he's enjoying what he's doing, whereas he looked miserable for the last few months. So it's good to see him back, because that's good for United and potentially good for England as well. So just to see him playing back on form again, scoring. He got the assist against Leicester as well, did he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
because I think Bruno played it into him, and then he shifted it on one more
to Sancho. And people were like, he had a bad game that game. It's like, hey guys, he had an assist, and also he helps out defensively. Like, when we press, that helps us, the whole team, defensively. So sometimes, he may get a ball and he might lose it, but there's other things he's doing without the ball. That is United out of possession is a completely different team than a few games ago and last season. Out of possession, we look like a team. Like, we know where to be. We know how to make it difficult. That's a whole nother part of the game that is 1,000% necessary, man. So that's why Rashford is starting, because he has the legs to start.
Also, credit to Ten Hag for sticking with that midfield with Eriksen and Bruno both in there, because, I mean, the first time he used it was the Brentford game, I think, and it looked obviously atrocious that game. And everyone was going, no, you go back to 2 CDMs with one in front, and he stuck with it. And to be fair to him, it's working. He used it against Liverpool. He's used it against Arsenal. It's, you know, it's paying off in the big games. And, you know, I think it must be such a confidence boost for McTominay to have seen Casimiro come in, but he's played well, and Ten Hag's just gone, well, you keep your place. We're winning. You get to stay. I mean, I don't know how long that will last for, but I mean, it's bringing big performances out of him right now.
Yeah, who is that guy? who is this McTominay guy? I've seen flashes of this guy, but this is a good 4-game run, and he was even better in this game. Like the first ball, I think that came to him, somebody pressured him, and he turned the person and faced upfield and made a positive pass. And it's like, all right, McTominay, let's see what you're gonna do for the rest of the game. Yeah. And he just continued in that nature. It's beautiful to see.
But you're going to kill a player if he's having really good games and then you just pull him out because now we got this new guy. He's going in regardless of how you play. It sends the wrong message, I think, to players that, you know, we're going to put someone in just because of who they are, not because of they've earned their place or you've lost your place by playing badly, kind of thing. So I think that speaks to Ten Hag's sort of integrity as a guy, as well as, you know, his football knowledge and everything. The fact that he's willing to do that, and yeah, Anthony coming in was interesting. I still think you've overpaid for him, but I mean, he's already repaid a little bit of it in a spectacular way. And
one penny at a time, baby.
That's it. You know, you can't argue with his performance, and I mean, he's not short of confidence. Like you said, he was trying stuff. It was like he was having a game down the park with his friends or something. Typical Brazilian. And it was nice to see even Ronaldo like jumped off the bench to celebrate that goal as well. Yeah. Which I think shows you that maybe his mentality is right for accepting the role that he now plays, if it is going to be that. But yeah, it was a fun game to watch. Like I say, it was a back and forth. Arsenal had you know, a fair bit of the game as well. So yeah, it was a good one as a neutral to sit back and watch.
I was terrified. I couldn't even enjoy it. Like I enjoyed it when I was watching it back afterwards, but during, it's just like, you know, there was moments of elation every time we scored, but man, it was nervy. It was nervy because I felt what a lot of the Arsenal fans were saying, that they felt they could take the game, and that's when they ratcheted up the pressure. But that's when they overestimated themselves and underestimated us. So it all played into our hands anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of like reminded me of some of the games we used to play under Conte against, say, Man City or even Arsenal, I think, where they would have all of the you know, pretty looking football. And Arsenal, I think they played well. Like the way Mikel Arteta wants to play football, I think they did implement that style of play pretty well, and that's why United were under pressure for periods of the game. But again, when you have players of the caliber of Sancho, Rashford, and Eriksen and Bruno behind, who can provide those passes, Anthony. I mean, I've seen Anthony, I think, properly for the first time. You have that kind of pace and trickery. Why wouldn't you want to use the skill of that team in transition? Like, I mean, it's set up. I'm sure Ten Hag eventually he would want to go into games not playing on the transition, but he's just come in. I think with a team like United, the kind of pace you have, you have to use that tool. We've seen that even under Ole, that there have been some famous wins where United has played on the counter and hurt teams really badly because you have those players that can do that. So I think it's really smart management and smart coaching that you're not absolutely trying to rip up the house and trying to build from scratch. So because if you try and do that, you might not be in a job before the results start to show. So I think it's pretty smart. And Ten Hag, it wasn't just the transition. I think there were a lot of really good plays where United did play from back to front. It's not something that United in the last couple of years has been known for. That's been one of the biggest criticisms of both De Gea and the centre backs at United. But this game they were doing it, and they sucked the Arsenal midfield in and used that space in behind to one pass, two pass, and get into some really dangerous positions. So yeah, I thought it was a fun game. I thought even Arsenal, I think they played well, although it was amazing the fact that you could climb the entire hype down a little peg or two. But I thought both teams, there were a lot of positives from both teams. And these are two teams that they seem to know what they're doing this season.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, you're welcome, rest of the league. We slowed Arsenal down so y'all can catch up. And number two, we're doing it like we just beat 2 of the top 6 with a 30-year-old guy with a pacemaker. Now, where do they make these pacemakers at? And do you have to have heart problems to get them? Can you just sign up for one like a Tesla and you just go get the operation? Because this guy is not only playing offensively, but he's covering all his defensive assignments. Yeah. And let me just say this once loud and clear. Foul, foul, foul. That was a goddamn foul. And yeah. At first, I thought it wasn't a foul. I was like, shit, they scored, and this is going to take the ear out of us. And then they went to the replay, because I hate soft fouls, And I went to the replay, and I said, oh, no, that's a foul. He went through homie. He went through the homie.
The arms came out as well, like it was a shove.
Yeah, shove. And then people in the studio saying, oh, that was soft. But let me just look this up. I'm going to find the game stats, just because I had this on deck. So I'm going to go to the United game. Right. That's Champions League. I got the Champions League up. So let me go to the United game, right? And let me see stats. And so when you go to fouls, Arsenal had 9 fouls. We had 13 fouls. If you look at our 13 fouls on Arsenal, it's all the same level of foul that they did to us in the Eriksen foul. So the referee was consistent as far as fouls are concerned. We had 13 fouls. Malacius fouled. The only big deal about the Eriksen foul is that it resulted in a goal, and you're not just giving a foul. You're taking away a goal, and that's on the ref. He should have called that foul immediately, because when Malacius fouled, I think Saka, it was the same type of foul. They called it right away, and they got a free kick. When McTominay shoved Martinelli out of bounds and the ball bounced off Martinelli and we tried to get a throw, they called it a foul. So they got a free kick, which these are all the same level fouls as the foul on Eriksen.
So I mean, this is the reason VAR exists, right? It was clearly, when you go back a phase, go back to the same phase of the attack from where the attack began.
Right.
I mean, this wasn't even in the elaborate passing sequence that went all over the pitch. There's a clear link from where the foul was committed to the ball reaching Martinelli.
Yeah, it was the guy who won the ball, the guy who retrieved the ball, made a direct pass to Martinelli, and Martinelli scored.
Yeah, there's no way Martinelli gets the ball if that foul isn't committed. So.
Yeah. So it was a foul. I didn't think watching it live, but once they showed the replay, it wasn't even. And people say, "Well, if you slow it down, it looks like a foul." No, that shit is a foul. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a United fan. I'll be saying if shit is not a foul or a foul for us or against us.
The thing is, if he stepped across him and just used his body to get in front of him, that's not a foul. But the fact that he's used his arms, he's used the hands. As soon as you put your hands up, and you put it on someone and you shove, it's a foul. It's not even a question in my mind.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate the honesty. Facts. What game do you guys want to go to next?
Trying to
'Cause
remember
there's-
what
there's-
took place
there's
over
some-
the weekend.
I know,
the
because-
the Merseyside Derby, Liverpool Everton.
Oh yeah.
I know. I think Chelsea West Ham was probably more controversial.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah,
Let's just go through the Liverpool one first. Everton, the derby. It was 0-0, right?
Yeah.
And here's Liverpool's issue. They got caught up too much in the darbiness of the derby. Like when you're in a derby, everybody's just flying and technique goes out the window. Technique is Liverpool's strong suit, like energy and technique. Everton just has a lot of energy and commitment. So you can't throw your technique out the window. You have to make those acute passes in the final third to give your players a chance to score. And I feel like the energy took away the composure that Liverpool players normally have, and they didn't create those decisive chances that they normally would have. And I think they didn't get beat by, they didn't drop. It's the derby made them drop points because it's like, I'm going to match your energy. And even on simple passes, there's no simple passes in a derby. It's just like everything is like, everything felt like a 50-50. And if you get caught in 50-50 mode, you just won't play your best. And it just suited Everton, who needed points. And, you know, Frank is getting a point a game. Like if he had one forward, they would have at least 2 more wins. Like the team is really playing for him, so I give him that. Like over the last few weeks, other than the first game of the week season when they lost, I think they haven't lost, and it's all 1 points. But you know, they're playing, and all Everton fans want, and all Everton's really got is effort, and they got effort.
They're still one of 2 teams who haven't won a game yet this season, though. It's just them and Leicester. But like you say, 4 draws isn't the worst thing in the world, given that they've played some tough teams as well.
Yeah.
and I know like how we won the one game against them was the penalty on the opening day.
Yeah.
So that was pretty. That could have also been the draw actually.
So they're not doing bad.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, they at the end of the day, you need a few wins because a 1 point a game, it's a very tough league for you to keep that pace. Sooner or later, one of those teams in the bottom who are behind them are gonna have a win here and there, and then you're then looking at, oh, what have you even done in all these weeks? So
No, I know, but like nobody can say let's fire Frank because they see the effort that the team is giving him.
Oh yeah,
And they know we need a forward, and our forward is injured. And they have Mopai, but you know, he's like 7 goals a season. You know, he's
another Shea Adams.
Yeah.
but they did look good though. Like the whole Mope, Anthony Gordon, and this guy, the new guy, McNeil. That
From Burnley.
front three, it looked like you know, they were getting some good plays together. They were threatening the Liverpool defense. I think Alisson had a great game. I mean, Pickford, of course, had an insane game, but I think even Alisson had a good game. And I think Liverpool, they're trying to play a game that they're not absolutely comfortable with. I think part of that is due to personnel changes, injuries, the squad itself changing. Like there's no Mane anymore. There's probably, you know, those midfielders are not as there's a different vein of midfielders that they're using. Carvalho and Elliott are not Milner, Henderson. They're not, you know, what Naby Keita was supposed to be. Also, I think Trent had to go off in the middle of the game for an injury. So that's going to be a huge loss. I don't know how serious it is, but if that's even a couple of games, that's going to be a huge loss to Liverpool because that team doesn't function without Trent Alexander-Arnold, like at least in an offensive phase.
At least I'll be more defensive now, according to you and other people.
No, that's possible, but there is a reason why Klopp plays him. I just don't like. I would also, if I had Trent in my squad, he'd be playing every game. It's just that I disagree with where he's playing.
They just assume that risk. Like, this is why Klopp doesn't drop in. I think you said it one week or something. I was watching a game. It's like, hey, we want our fullbacks to push up. So sometimes some people are going to score goals, but this team plays with that risk, you know. So it's like that's why Klopp doesn't like trip on him and say you didn't get back.
But that's why you need the supporting cast around him to be absolutely world class. Which, to be fair, they were for a long time. I think you're now seeing that probably Fabinho's not had the greatest start of the season. Van Dijk's not had the greatest start to the season. The other centre back, it's been a mix and match. Like Konate is injured. I think Matip maybe played one game and he's injured. Joe Gomez played. So the strength of the Liverpool defense, where it was like everybody knew the role really well. I think that's something that's had even more impact on Trent's defensive role.
Yeah, I think everybody's saying, like, everybody's pointing to the easy thing, not you, but everybody's saying they miss Mane. And it's like, hey, man, it's the midfield. It's the midfield.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen Milner start this many games since 5 years ago. And when you start Milner on a regular basis, like a 30-something, a guy well into his 30s.
38.
Like,
he's almost well into his 40s.
Almost into his 40s. That lets you know the state of their midfield. It's not that Mane's gone. Like, I think they have ample replacements for him, but Elliott is young. Everybody else from their midfield, like Henderson is in and out. He's injured. Alcantara is injured. Keita is injured. Like, it's the whole middle. Like, they don't have Ronaldo anymore. So it's like once this, and then Jota is a really good scorer. He's underrated. He's injured. I think he just got in this game, but that's goals right there. So it's just like let them settle down. They'll come back. No, they're not that far off it. And when they get some players back, they should be better.
Interesting to see how quickly it takes them to integrate Arthur, because he didn't come on. He was on the bench this game, but he didn't come on. I think the fact that Klopp made 5 substitutions he made all 5 subs, tells you all you need to know about how Liverpool were doing in this game, that he was just chasing it, whereas Everton, I think, only made 2 because they were pretty solid with what they had. I've been enjoying watching Iwobi reborn as a centre midfielder as well.
Dope, right?
Yeah, because he was like a winger before, and he never really had like the explosive
don't have the goals in
pace of a winger, but he's got the technique and the strength to play as a centre midfielder, and he's looked good there.
He's Everton's Joe Linton.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Also, I thought it was interesting that they benched Firmino, who had a good couple of games in Nunes' absence, but then Nunes is available to play again, and he immediately comes back in. I thought Klopp probably missed a trick there, because Firmino is in form. You probably want to keep him on side in terms of just morale. And
it's the opposite of what we said with McTominay at United.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, I would also have thought like you do want some level of continuity. I just feel like the way they've done their squad planning for the season, Firmino and Nunes, you're gonna have to have a lot of oscillation in the way you play. These are 2 completely different type of number 9s, and I think that's helpful for your third number 9. You want your third striker to offer a different kind of profile to the first 2, where at least the first 2 you want some sort of sameness, because you want the team to be able to go from week 1 to week 2 to week 3, interchanging between these without having to completely change the skeleton of how you play. And generally, I think there are a couple of questions that can be raised on squad planning, like how you're saying that Milner's having to play so many games. The injuries that Liverpool do have, these are not like brand new, shocking, events that are happening. Like the fact that Keita gets injured is well known. Thiago gets injured is well known. Ox is either injured or not reliable. It's well
He
known.
barely counts as a football player anymore.
Exactly. So the fact that Milner is 38 is well known. You got to give him a new contract. The fact that Henderson's past his peak, well known. So I don't think if you scratch the surface, Liverpool has made things easier for themselves in terms of approaching the season.
Right. I think they were trying to get Jude, but they can't get him till next year. So they didn't want to it's just timing of everything. But there'll always be a threat and a team to worry about. And, who knows, man? Like last year, remember, it was just going to be City and they were like 15 points ahead. But Liverpool got their stuff together. And Man City's dropping points already. So, like we said, it can't be the toughest league in the world where the other teams don't take points off you. So you can't be shocked and stuff. So what's up with the Chelsea, man? What's going on? Let's talk your Premier League game this week. So what's up?
Talking about Chelsea's comeback win, the last minute winner. I mean, we've been playing scratchy. I mean, we can talk about today too. Like, we played, I think since the Spurs game, we've played really average to bad football. And we've been scratchy, we've been, eking out a few points, dropping points. There's just a lot of things going on. Formations keep changing. I don't think we have the right person for any specific formation yet. The Dennis Zakaria buy, I think, is pretty crucial because if he can actually function as a DM, then that changes the whole complexion of having to use 3 at the back. You can actually start using 4 at the back and free up one more player up front. Because today we used Mount and Kovacic in a deep pivot. I think that's definitely not Mason Mount's role. I think even Kovacic's role is to play that alongside somebody else who's more conservative. So, yeah, I feel like we're trying to put too many, the whole square pegs and round holes thing. It's just not working. But, Tuchel, he knows what he's up against. Like, he's been backed. He can't complain about not having his players anymore, which I thought was a legitimate thing before this season. But now he has enough of his players, and he has enough of his players from the squad that he inherited that he trusts. So he just has to find a solution now.
What do you think about? Well, I do want to ask you about the Bowen play, but but before that, what do you think about Fofana getting torched today by
somebody we don't even know,
running with the ball away from him?
I actually think that the part of that, because it's not just Fofana. You saw what Koulibaly did just before that. He went for a 50-50 in the air and lost it. I actually feel that was basically you seeing 2 people playing center backs with each other for the first time in their lives. Absolutely zero communication. One goes bombing forward. The second guy is in no man's land, and there's absolutely no chemistry or communication between them. So, yeah, I think, Fofana, I think even this debut in the Premier League, it was he had some good plays, but he made some mistakes too. So, hopefully he learns from this, and hopefully we build a little bit more chemistry. We actually have no chemistry in either a defense, midfield, or attack. It's pretty shocking. It's pretty crazy what's happening.
You know what, Neil? I can't argue with you on that.
So yeah. The Bowen play. I mean, when I saw it in real time, I was like, what are they even checking? Because that seems like accidental contact. It happens a million times a game. When I was watching the replays, you see his other leg though, which I just hadn't seen in the first few replays. His other leg does go studs into on Mendy's chest. So that thing, if you see it in any part of the pitch, that is a foul. But I don't think that makes any difference to what Mendy is able to do beyond that, because the way he parries, even if Bowen had not touched him and gone over, Mendy's in no position to retrieve the ball or make any saves after that. So I don't know. I think it's one of those, and I like seeing goals. So, if it's a 50-50 and the goal is given, I really don't mind that. It's the same attitude I have even with marginal offsides. So, yeah.
So you think it should have been a goal?
I feel it was a foul, but it's not a foul that impeded anything. So I'm okay with the decision on the ground staying, which was the goal being given.
Pretty honest of you. What do you think, Lee? About
I
that
think
game and that play?
On the foul, I think it's technically a foul, but like Neil says, it doesn't actually change what happens at all. But if you're looking at it on the video and Mendy gets there, Bowen clatters him, it's a foul. Like you say, anywhere else on the pitch, the game would be stopped and it would be given as a foul. So I think by the letter of the law, it's a foul. It does feel a little bit soft because it didn't really affect what he could do, but foul's a foul. So it's very lucky for Chelsea. But I think they showed great character to come back from 1-0 down and pull it back round to get those 2 goals. Obviously, Mendy was all over the place for the first goal as well, trying to call a foul on that one and not getting it. I don't know what's up with him this season, though. He just seems to be a completely different guy to the one who looked so dominant and assured when he first joined the club.
Guy? Did he get body get switched? Did Kepa switch bodies with Mendy? And he's, one of those movies where there's a body swap.
Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday, and Kepa found it because he's making Kepa mistakes.
Yeah, and even
Kepa made a couple of world-class saves tonight as well. The one he tipped onto the woodwork was amazing.
That's Mendy. They switched bodies.
With Mendy, if you see one pattern that we are doing this season is we are conceding a lot of goals off set pieces. It's unreal because that really changed once Mendy came in after Kepa. Mendy came in and Anthony Barry, the one of the coaches that we got from Wigan under Lampard. A combination of Anthony Barry's coaching and Mendy being really good at set pieces really changed the way we approach set pieces, both offensively and defensively. It's gone completely the other way around this season. So partly, I also feel like the same thing that I was talking about Fofana and Koulibaly, like that leadership on the set piece when he's with these new players is probably not there. But then he's also making mistakes that have absolutely nothing to do with anybody on the pitch. Like, when like his hands were like you hit Mendy on the with a shot, that ball would go somewhere somewhere else. Now it's either a weak parry or it's right into a dangerous play. He's not coming out that often enough. So yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah, like I'm sorry, we don't even have chemistry in that goalkeeper. Need to add that to the other 3 parts of the pitch.
I just want to say I'm sweating like I'm in a shower right now. Like, sweat is just coming. That's how hot it is in California. So anybody that can see this, that's all you're seeing is just like sweat. But I think it was also a foul. I feel like Bowen could have pulled his foot out and he didn't, and it cost him. You can't hit the goalkeeper. You got over him with one leg. You could have gotten over him with the second leg. So in a sense, you created the opportunity and ruined it at the same time. Like I think he wanted to leave something on. He did, and he bailed Chelsea out. Because it definitely should have been a goal. But lift your foot, man. Don't hit people if you don't have to, and you'll be good.
Word for Ben Chilwell though, he's lost his place to Cucurella. But hey, great character for him coming on as a sub, scoring that goal, opportunistic goal. He saw a little bit of a gap with Fabianski coming out. He poked it in, and then a great cross for Havertz. So goal and an assist. I think that really helped his confidence.
Yeah, that goal was such a difficult angle as well, and to get it through the legs from where he did, incredible finish.
Yeah. I also like Paqueta, like for West Ham.
Oh yeah.
Paqueta look like I feel like a lot of pundits were saying that West Ham has to play a different system to actually maximize the use of him. But nah, man, he played well the way West Ham played, you know. So, you know, he's,
I think something about David Moyes' football and Brazil's number 10 doesn't really, like, aesthetically, people are gonna have a tough time reconciling themselves to it.
I mean, he was balling, like he fit right into that system, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, for the people who last week were just like one person said something that kind of makes sense, and then everybody just repeats it. But it's like, so that's what I was hearing. And then I'm watching them this week. And like that, West Ham were playing the way West Ham plays. Paqueta gets the ball, and so they're going to be dangerous with this guy going forward. So you know, good luck to whoever has to play him. They definitely up their level with this guy on the pitch. What happened with Southampton, Lee? You lose to Wolves, who is a tough team to beat. So it's one goal, but
yeah, it wasn't a great game. We played okay. Wolves played okay, but they're the ones who put the ball in the net. We had enough chances to draw the game. We had one where the ball fell to Shea Adams, and all he had to do was put the ball in the goal with any legal part of his body, and he decided to use his arm to put it in. I'm like, just anything else, chest, head. Like,
can you blame him? He's seen the Madonna hand to God thing. He said, "This works. I want to emulate my hero."
So stupid, but
he went full Shea Adams on that one.
Yeah, he hit the bar as well. I think it was Bella Kotchap had a decent chance off a corner. It's just back to one of those games. Like we obviously took two chances really well against Chelsea midweek, and then we go back to being wasteful in this game, which is, you know, I think that's how it's going to be for us this season, because we've got players who are good when they show up, but they can't show up every week, and that's why they're playing for us and not for bigger clubs right now, because they can't do it all the time. And I think we missed Lavia. He went off injured against Chelsea. He's been great.
How big is that? Like, is it a serious injury?
6 weeks, Hasenhüttl said.
Oh boy, that's bad.
Which is it's a decent chunk of time. Hopefully, because he's young, maybe he'll be back quicker. But equally, you know, with a young player who's playing a first season of senior football, don't want to rush him back because he's playing.
One of your defenders.
Holding, but he's a CEM.
Which one of your players? Sorry.
Was it say he's the one who scored the goal against Chelsea, the first goal?
And also the guy who was who was the object of a deadline day 50 million bid from Chelsea after Southampton had just bought him in the same window. This is how crazy we've been moving.
He played two games and they're like,
from Man City, who have a buyback clause as well. It was a piece of pretty brain dead bidding from Chelsea, to be honest, because it was never going to happen. I don't even know if the laws of football allow that to happen. I think you can't be registered to 3 clubs in the same division in one season. I don't think it's even allowed. So that was pretty fucking stupid. But
I guess they thought that maybe we can do, you know, the reverse of the Tyler Debling situation in Southampton.
Yeah, just strange business to try and do. But yeah, we weren't great. Wolves were. It's a shame their big target man, the guy they signed, like 6'8" or whatever, he's had an ACL injury right off the bat against us, which means that's why Wolves are trying to sign Diego Costa, because this guy, they signed him for I think like just shy of 20 million from Stuttgart, and then he did an ACL first game, which is really shit luck. But Costa's had his work permit rejected because he's not played for the national team for a certain amount of time. But Wolves are appealing it by sort of saying, you know, this is someone who's lived and worked in this country before. So I think that would be the angle they're going for.
Apparently the backup, like if Costa doesn't work out, is Andy Carroll. And
really? Wow. And they're just desperate for a big guy right now.
And I read somewhere like nothing, because it's work permit related, right? So somebody said that nothing symbolizes Brexit more than going for Diego Costa and ending up with Andy Carroll.
I mean, even going for Diego Costa is pretty bad. The guy's not played for a club since January, and he's obviously past his best. I mean, I'm sure he can still be an arsehole to defenders. That will never leave his DNA, I don't think. But it's just a weird one from Wolves. Obviously, they can't sign anyone who's contracted anywhere because the window's gone now. But just some desperate business going on there. But I mean, obviously, like I say, some bad luck as well they've had.
If I'm Andy Carroll, I'm pissed. I mean, you went for Diego Costa before you went for me. You know what? I'm not coming there. How dare you? How dare you? So there's one game I want to talk about this weekend, but let me know if you're done with this Southampton.
Oh yeah. I don't need to talk at length about one that lost to Wolves. I've already talked about it too much, to be honest.
I want to hear more now. I want to hear more.
There was nothing more to it. We were average, they were average, but they scored.
Even their goal was average. It was like, was that a cross or a pass, Podence?
It was just a shit finish, yeah.
Yeah, but because it was a shit finish, it beat the keeper.
Yeah, the keeper didn't know what to do.
Yeah. What do you do with this slow ball? That's But so the Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth game where Scott Parker got fired because he spoke out against his owners who didn't spend any money. So then this week, and his team that didn't spend any money plays the team that spent all their money and got their coach all the players that they wanted. And then that team loses to the team that he used to coach that didn't spend any money. They went down 2-0 to Forest, and then they came back and won 3-0 with no money spent, the same players. The only difference is Scott was gone. And so it's just an irony score or irony result. All right, Bournemouth, you won one. New coach.
Pretty crazy. Like Forest looks so comfortable at half time as well. But credit to Gary O'Neill, who's the caretaker manager at Bournemouth, because he changed their shape at half time, because Forest play like a sort of 3-4-3. He decided to change his system, match that up. He made subs as well at the right times, and showed some tactical acumen that Parker hadn't shown previously. And Gary O'Neill hasn't really managed before. He's been a coach. He played in the Premier League with Portsmouth for a bit. So that's a reason for me not to like him already. But credit where it's due. He did a good job in this game to bring them back and acknowledge that he hadn't, maybe set them up right, but he's analysed it in the game and made the changes. So yeah, I mean, you got to give him credit for that, because I mean, Bournemouth squad, it's a championship squad, but he got a Premier League result out of them.
Yeah. And then he tied the week before, right? So he's got like 4 points. So they're not doing bad. Yeah. Forest. I mean, Bournemouth hasn't done bad. Like, they have more points than a lot of teams, or I have more points than Aston Villa and a bunch of teams. Like, for a team that didn't spend any money. Let's see what Bournemouth are. They're 13th.
Yeah, they're only one place behind us.
Yeah. So.
But I think we're level on points.
Yeah. Any more outstanding matches? Let me just run through the scores.
Brighton Leicester was mad, and some great goals as well, including one goal that didn't even count. That was great.
Yeah, and Leicester came out like, all right, last week we embarrassed ourselves. Let's go hard, and then that was a foul too for their first goal.
Yeah,
but I think it was Solly March. He just got up and kept on playing. So I like the spirit of any team that has players like that. And they didn't complain about the goal. They just, all right, we're going to get this goal back. And they got it back. And then they went down. Did they go down 2-1? And then they came back again and they scored all the goals from there. But that was an amazing goal.
I'm not sure. But then, there was the one from McAllister, which the ball got cleared out. And then he stuck it top corner. And then the referee went back and said there was like a high foot or something, I think, in there.
Yeah, from an offside player. What do you think about that call?
I think it was borderline. It was a bit shitty. But I think the judgment's clouded by the fact that it ruled out such a great goal. As a neutral, you want to see those goals given. It might have been, by the letter of the law, it might have been technically a good decision, but yeah, you want to see those goals given when someone smashes it in. But I mean, he still went and scored a penalty and a free kick. Trossard looked great in that game as well. Really good performance from him. He got a goal. He won the penalty as well when he pulled off a bit of skill down near the corner. So yeah, just really good from Brighton to go out and score 5 goals, despite the fact they just sold one of their only strikers. I mean, Casado looks such a great player in the middle for them as well.
He scored.
Apparently, Liverpool are starting to try and talk to Brighton about him, which doesn't surprise me. But yeah, he looks a player. They're flying right now.
What's happening with Brendan Rodgers? I feel like there's like conflicting reports. Has he already been sacked, or is he?
He's not officially been sacked, but I mean, it sounded like he's been trying his hardest, because after every game, he's like, the board hasn't helped me. They haven't given me any players, and this and that. I mean, they sold obviously Fofana for 70 million. They signed a replacement. The Belgian centre back they signed from, I think somewhere in France, maybe. But yeah, he sounds like he's trying his best to get fired. I think there's an international break coming up soon. Which is normally the time you'd want to sack a manager, because then the new guy can come in and has a little bit of time to get his feet under the table before they have to go and face another game. Because I think there's games this Saturday and Sunday, and then it's the international break after that, I think, perhaps. Let me have a look at the fixture list. I'll be able to see. So game week 7 is Saturday, September 10th, Sunday the 11th, Monday the 12th. Oh no, there's games next weekend as well, 16th, 17th, 18th.
2 weekends in a row.
It's after that, yeah. So there's two, the next 2 weekends, there's games, and then there's an international break. So maybe he has 2 games to save himself, but those 2 games are against Villa at home and Tottenham away. So I'm guessing they'll be expecting something from Villa at home. If he fucks up that and they lose badly to Villa, then that might be it. Have a caretaker in for the Spurs game, appoint someone during the break.
The Villa at home, then that might be the who gets the sack derby.
Between Brendan and Gerrard.
So, yeah.
I mean, Gerrard did good this weekend. Like, he got the tie.
He could. I mean, they should have won like that. I actually feel that was the most controversial VAR decision that was wrongly made, because that offside goal. Who scored the goal? I think it was Coutinho who scored the goal. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't offside though, but the flag went up. It wasn't offside though, but the flag went up. So
it wasn't. And although he's hit a great strike that the keeper was never going to save, I'm not sure if he would have got the strike off because the players stopped.
I don't remember them.
Which is it's a shitty call. They should keep the flag down because that's what they're told to do. The play should carry on, and at least then you know whether the conclusion is legit or not. But the conclusion for me wasn't legit because the players stopped when the flag went up.
I blame the pundits for ruining that goal, because all the last 2 seasons, since the referees have been told to keep the flag down, all the pundits keep saying is, suppose you keep the flag down and the player gets injured. Like, it's a waste of time.
I mean, that never happened. So I don't even know why they keep talking about it.
And they keep saying it because, again, it's something that sounds like it might be plausible, but a lot of people don't examine these statements. So it's never happened. And if it does happen, people get hurt warming up for the game they're about to play. And you can get hurt anytime. So why is this line that you keep running? Now it ruined I knew that ball was going in because Coutinho was moving in the position of the field where that's his shot. That's his one shot. That's that one shot that always goes in. He did it with Liverpool, or anybody who's ever played for. And now he got in that position for Villa. And I was like, that's going in. But the flag was up and it went in, and they took it from him. And they could have won that game. Even though Haaland scored, got his goal off, he's just on a scoring streak.
Yeah, he looked a monster tonight again as well. Just scoring those poachers goals tonight. One off a cross, one off a rebound. City looked really good tonight. They blew that Sevilla team away.
Yeah. So I feel like De Bruyne and Haaland have this blonde hair Targaryen telepathic thing going on. You know what I mean? They look like the superior race from the Game of Thrones. That blonde, super blonde, like
Yeah.
albino Targaryen. So I'm just calling them Targaryens from now on. Like De Bruyne is the dragon rider, and Haaland is the dragon. And it's they did great today against Sevilla. Sevilla is going to have a tough season. They sold two of their best defenders. Kunde had an amazing assist this week for Barcelona in La Liga. Like I didn't even know.
Right?
Yeah, to Lewandowski. Like it was on that. Remember that Bergkamp goal in that World Cup years ago?
Yeah.
It was like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that ball's not going to reach him. Oh shit, it reached him. They put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, there were some fun games around Europe this weekend as well. The Milan Derby was a good game, 3-1 to AC Milan. Rafael Leao was the best player on the pitch. He looked really good.
He looks like the kind of guy who, I mean, I don't know what his trajectory is going to be, but if you're talking about the next level of players who, in terms of both like their skill and their personality, can take on a Mbappe and a Haaland, could potentially be here.
Yeah.
And I think he had an assist today too.
Yeah, they drew 1-1 with Salzburg, I think, Red Bull Salzburg.
Which actually is it's probably a result that is in our favor, because if you want to finish top of the group after already losing this game, you kind of want the rest of the games to go draws.
Yeah, it means no one gets away from you too much.
Yeah. PSG versus Juventus was a good game today in Champions League.
Mbappe
PSG
and Neymar were tearing it up.
Yeah. It could have been 3-1, but Mbappe completely turned off his phone and was not receiving calls on the potential third goal, when Neymar was like right on his other wing screaming for the ball, and he just like, sorry, bad connection, I didn't hear you, I'm gonna take this shot, and it just went wide, but it would have been a tap in.
I was surprised by Shakhtar.
Isn't this the same Shakhtar that beat, or was it another team that beat Real Madrid the last two first games of the year in the group stages in a row? Was it Shakhtar or was somebody else?
That was Sharif from Moldova.
Okay.
Yeah, it was because obviously Shakhtar are a bit in disarray because they can't play their games where they're from because of the war and stuff. And Leipzig at home that's a tough game. But they pulled it off. They've got they haven't really got the all the Brazilians they used to have, Shakhtar, because obviously that's where a lot of players came from. They've got one, I think, their right back. Trying to see if they had any on the bench. No, I think they've only got the one Brazilian now. They used to have loads. That's where like Willian came from, and Fred, and a few others as well. But yeah, they did the job. And there's a guy on their team who scored I think might have been their third goal. Mudryk, who a few clubs are trying to pinch on deadline day. A few clubs put some big offers in for him, and they didn't sell. So they'll be an interesting team to watch after that game, because they've clearly got something. I'm presuming a lot of those players will be playing with that extra motivation if they're doing it for their country as well. Yeah,
4-1, they balled out on Leipzig. That was pretty surprising result. Real Madrid Celtic, 3-0. Celtic came out in the first half, and Real Madrid just rope-a-doped them. They was like, all right, keep swinging. And then Real Madrid's like, second half, like, oh, these guys can't play for real. We should probably do that. Let's try to win too. And Celtic had just beat Rangers. They left all their clinicalness on the field when they played Rangers this weekend and beat them 4-0. And then they came out hard, but you put the ball in the back of the net, and Real Madrid has all the capabilities to do that.
Yeah, just insulting them by letting Hazard come on and score.
I think he had a goal and an assist, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, he scored the third goal.
How serious is that Benzema injury?
No idea. I haven't heard yet, but hopefully not too bad. Champions League needs him.
Yeah, because they don't have Ronaldo. And then Dortmund did their thing, 3-0 on Copenhagen.
Yeah. Yeah, them and
Uh,
Benfica, you'd expect to win those two games.
Yeah, Pepe Reina had like not Pepe Reina, Claudio Reyna. What's his name? The American
Gio Reyna.
Gio Reyna.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm
Claudio's
saying his
son.
dad's name. Yeah, Gio Reyna had 2 assists, and Jude Bellingham took one of those assists, put the ball in the back of the net. So, and then that guy Brandt, he's like normally like a very stylish player who can like divide up the field and make great passes. But today he was playing like really hard, like he was playing like a 6 and an 8. So if he can do that more, play with the energy of both of those, then it should be good. Or the
Got
energy
Inter
of a
Bayern
6 and a
tomorrow.
10. Yeah, what's tomorrow?
Yeah, Inter Bayern should be good. Barcelona playing Pilsen, who I think are going to get whooped by everyone in that group. Napoli, Liverpool. Tottenham are playing Marseille, which isn't an easy game. Marseille have matched PSG this season. They're joint top with them so far.
Right.
They've got also it's quite funny that Marseille are playing at Tottenham, and Marseille are just stacked with ex-Arsenal players right now.
Oh yeah, who's on their team?
They got Alexis Sanchez, they've got Tavares, they've got Guendouzi, they've got who else? There's some more there as well. Kolasinac is there too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Marseille are fully, like I say, they're fully full of Arsenal players. Let's have a look. Tavares, Sanchez, Guendouzi. I'm pretty sure there was another one as well. So yeah, Kolasinac. I'm not sure. I think I missed one out, but they got some ex-Premier League guys there as well. Because obviously Bailly's there.
Bailly's there. That's where he went.
Yeah.
They
got Chance and
Did you
Bembo.
hear what he said?
Yeah, I heard some of it, but it's not. It's maybe not that. I think it's partially right. Like he should have started when he wasn't injured, and not playing a lot gets you injured. Or when you do make a mistake, they're like, let's put Maguire back because this guy we just put in who we don't play made a mistake. It's like I always said, let Bailly play out his mistakes, and he'll give you more than Harry Maguire.
He could only be talking about Maguire, right?
Yeah, I mean most of our defense was English.
So it's Maguire, it's Wan-Bissaka.
Shaw, Bissaka.
Shaw. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think his direct competitor is Maguire, so
yeah,
it's probably talking about him.
Yeah,
but
100%.
again, Maguire was also a world record centre back. So there's anyway, forget about his nationality. There's anyway pressure on the manager to play such a player.
I mean, yeah, it's probably we played him because of how much we paid for him, and the coach.
He's also the captain. He's also the club captain.
Yeah, that didn't help.
So yeah.
Did you see when he came on? Sorry.
Oh, Maguire when he came on
for United, like the only thing he didn't look like he fit, and the only thing he did that helped us was get a yellow card. That was the only professional thing he did during that game was get a yellow card because he needed to stop Jesus.
Wait, so has Ten Hag made a change to the captaincy, or is he still the club
He got
captain?
the armband when he went on.
Oh boy, so he is still the club captain then.
Yeah. Kind of, I guess. Ten Hag also got rid of Phil Jones. Like he's not training with the team anymore.
Yeah, he banished to the under-23s or under-21s, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I just find it absolutely astonishing that Ten Hag's prepared to bench Ronaldo before he would take the armband off Harry Maguire. Like that's the gutsy call he's prepared to take.
I mean, but at least Ronaldo gets in the game before Maguire.
Yeah. But it's like that's his line. Like, no, that those are the toes I won't step on.
Yeah, people have like McTominay. I think the reason why he's playing better because they took away his entitlement. You bench Maguire, and they said, "Hey, Ronaldo, you're not starting. McTominay, you see that? Also, we just got Casimiro. So until he acclimates, you're there. So he's like, shit, let me play good, so that when he acclimates, I keep this. Like there were certain positions on the pitch where no matter how bad people played, they would always get their spot the next week. Now that is not guaranteed. And that's what a team needs, you know.
And also, like midweek games have begun now, so you're gonna have enough game time.
Yeah, England's going to be in trouble defensively when it's time for international games because a lot of England's defensive starters are not starting for their teams. Like Shaw,
Stones is in.
yeah, Stones. They've recently started putting Stones in, but at the beginning of the season, I was thinking him too. But he's played the last few games. I don't know if he played in the Champions League this week. I can't remember seeing him, but yeah, a lot of England's defenders.
Yeah, Chilwell's not starting anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he played today. I think it was Diaz and Akanji today.
Right.
New guy. Yeah.
So at least his excuse is that he knows that Pep rotates. But even like there's some other positions where English players have lost their place on their teams, so their club teams. So, you know, just going back to the Premier League, Ivan Toney, 3 hat-trick this weekend, dope goals, like a free kick. I don't think that was a penalty, but he put it in the net. And, you know, he's just Mr. Composure in the final third. He's like, he's really solid.
That was a crazy game as well, though. Like 2 5-2s in the league this weekend is pretty nuts. I actually drove past that game as it was happening.
Oh yeah.
I was on my way into London for a show on Saturday night, and there's a motorway that runs right past the Brentford ground, and it's a raised up motorway, so you drive right next to the stadium, and I could see the big screen on one of the stands, so I could see the game going on, and I could hear the fans in the stadium. But yeah, that was a fun one to watch back. And Jesse Marsh got himself sent off as well for going crazy at a fourth official.
Jesse Marsh, I mean, he's doing everything to endear himself to the to the British.
But yeah, leaking 5 goals ain't gonna do him any favors though. Because Leeds have looked a bit hit and miss. Like they didn't look that great against Everton the other week. Obviously shipping 5 goals here. They seem a little bit up and down. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they finish up the season, because I think they've got a high ceiling like that if their players play well. But I thought it was a strange move that they let Dan James go to Fulham as well, because he seemed to be playing quite a few games for them. Seemed a bit of a strange one.
Let me tell you something about Dan James. Like, you might think he ain't doing nothing, but he's doing something.
Yeah.
Like one of the points where Man United fell off last year was when we sold Dan James, because he was literally hardworking. Like he pressed, he ran his ass off. Now, he wasn't like a decisive person who had a clinical touch in the final third, but you know, he'll keep teams off you or prevent them from doing things they want to do to you because he's super active. And like in the Brentford game when they if he had still been playing with us, the day after the Brentford game, Ten Hag canceled the day off and had the players come in, and they had to run the distance that they didn't run during the Brentford game. And I bet you he would have told, what's his name, James, to stay home if he'd been on the team, because he would have ran that distance during the game. And so he doesn't have the greatest touch, but he works hard.
Are you saying Fulham now have 2 Williams?
So what?
Are you saying Fulham now have 2 Williams?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if
There's a
Williams still got
Willian on the
legs.
left wing, Willian on the right wing.
Did he play this weekend, William, for
No,
Fulham against Spurs?
no, I don't think so.
They had Mitrovic, and that's all that matters. He's the one doing the damage.
Yeah.
Because Willian, basically what you're saying, essentially, I mean, I haven't seen him in a while, but that is essentially what Willian was. He is not offering a lot on the ball, but a lot off the ball.
He used to. His
Couple of games this season.
his career is way better than Dan James.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Before Lee dies of this cold that he's got or his allergies. Like, what's the fantasy league results for the week?
Oh, well, there was a horrible moment partway through the weekend when Martin was top, which obviously he was quick to let us know about on the chat.
Yeah.
But he was dethroned by the end of the weekend by Gajan Lau, who has been top briefly before with his team Hello You Conte. So he's top right now. Martin's second, which hopefully that doesn't last too long. Joachim Henriksen is third, and Lyle Gillen, who was top previously, he's number 4 right now. Just looking for the rest of us. I'm down in 10th. I'm still within touching distance of the top teams. I went up to like 4th this weekend and then back down. So it was swinging back and forth. And then Ian, you're 29th out of 33. You're slipping.
Yeah, because you know what? Could I just explain?
You need to get Haaland in. That's the only explanation.
No, I know, but I tried to get Haaland and Mitrovic in this weekend, right? And then they didn't stay in the team. Like once I don't know how to do it. Like I sat there every Friday night. I come home and I'm like putting them in the team, and then they won't stay in the team. And then I say fuck it, and I'm going to bed. So I got to wake up 4:30 in the morning to watch the game, and it's already like 1-something a.m. because I just came from a club spot. So then I was like, fuck it. So then I just got angry and just left it.
Well,
So
Neil's. You need to make them transfers. Figure out how to get them in.
I'm gonna Google it.
You just got to press confirm once you make the transfers.
I did.
I'm not sure what's happening there.
It's like the De Gea facts that never went through.
But Neil's still rock bottom, but he had one of his better weeks because Solanke got him 12 points, which is a rarity. I think that's going to be the. We should let you bin the Cobham experiment and play seriously now, Neil. Try and see if you can haul yourself back.
I think I can play seriously with the Cobham experiment. I just haven't touched my team since day one when I made the team. So I need to do a few things.
Well, you've got Bertrand Traore in the end there, who's been loaned out to Turkey, so you can replace him with Billy Gilmore. Now that Gilmore's been loaned out to Brighton, see what happens there. But we need you guys firing, because it can't just be me trying to take down Martin. I need all of you at it. We need to give ourselves as much chance as possible.
And I'm gonna come for Martin.
We need to. We can't be letting him run away with it or anything, or be the top one out of us 4. So but Gajan Lau, number 1 for this week. So congrats.
Damn, all right. Congrats. Garden Lau. Is it Garden Lau?
Gajan, Garjun.
Thanks for making your name easy to pronounce. Gajan. But congrats. I think that's it. We're gonna do a podcast Thursday. I'm on the road. So I leave tomorrow. I'm going to Levity live in Nyack. Catch anybody on the East Coast, New York, want to pull up and come through. I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I think there's a Sunday show for some reason. So
nice.
That's where I'm at. Any of you guys have anything you want to wrap this up with?
No, just enjoy the Champions League games again tomorrow. It's good to have it back.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
watching Inter Bayern, I think.
Yeah, I'll watch that too. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to watch it. I'll probably be flying then, but we'll see. It's
Unless Marseille are beating Spurs, I'll switch to that game.
hilarious. I'll definitely be watching the Europa League game, and it'll be interesting to see who Ten Hag, at least how much he switches the lineup up. You know, we'll see.
I can't wait
you-
to watch see you in the Europa. That's gonna be one of the iconic moments of world football.
Best thing that ever happened to the Europa League.
Yeah, you already know they're gonna keep playing that video for the next 10 years of promotional activities on the Europa League.
Uh-huh. Even Ronaldo played here.
Yeah.
So,
I from a Chelsea point of view, I can't wait to face Willian on his Fulham debut this weekend.
Oh,
Big
yeah?
West London derby.
The West London derby. It's gonna be good. And like, you know, we are so shaky. There's already a few murmurs of the fan base not happy with Tuchel. So, you know,
I think you'll be fine. You know, I think you guys will be fine. It's going to be rocky right now. You got a lot of new moving parts, and I think he has to pick a system. Like you guys said something about, and I think it was Lee about Ten Hag, like putting Ericsson in the midfield with McTominay, and we lost to Brentford, but he stuck to the experiment. Like you can't just be like switching because it didn't work the first time. They got to get used to it. You know what I mean? And we stuck to it, and we got 4 wins in a row. Like Tuchel got to stop like switching shit.
he's
You know what
switching
I
too
mean?
much here.
Yeah. I think once you get complimented, like the last 2 weeks, I've learned how much these guys listen to the radio. Like Klopp listens to the radio in England. Like he addressed Gabby Abanglahor.
Yeah,
He got mad.
Yeah, he got mad, and then he was talking about fans. And another interview talking about Liverpool should get these midfielders.
Midfielder, yeah. He said, "You guys are right. I was wrong."
Yeah, so he's like, he's
Probably listening to us.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
We called it.
But these guys listen. Tuchel has probably listened to how much of a genius people think he is when he switches shit. So he's like, oh, let me keep switching. I want to get this genius pat on the back. But hey, man, let the players get used to something. Yeah. But thanks everybody for listening and watching. We appreciate you all. You know, tell some friends. Let's get this podcasting community growing, and let's have some fun. One love, y'all. Thank you, Aaron Brungard, for setting us up. Anybody got anything, Lee? Neil?
No, I'll see you Thursday.
Thursday. All right. That's dope.
That's Thursday.
All right. Peace, y'all.
All right.
Let me stop the record. Boom.